In today's video, we'll go through a real TEDx application. My guest is Julija Sovane, an executive and global business coach from Latvia. Julija plans to apply for a TEDx talk and even for the TEDx Global Idea Search, which is a collaboration between TED Conference and TEDx events around the world. I gave Julija the key questions from the official TEDx application, the same ones you'll see in almost any TEDx forum. First, what's your big idea? And what are the main takeaways for the audience? Or in a regular TEDx application, you might be asked to write a short description of your TED Talk. Also, you usually will be asked in your TEDx application, why are you the person to give it? And sometimes, can you share links so organizers can learn more about you? We focused on the two most important parts, the talk idea and the TED Talk takeaways. And even though Julija is brilliant and experienced, she fell into a common trap as many high-skilled professionals, speaking too broadly, using field-specific language or those language that she understands but not that many people do, and making her idea sound more complicated than it needed to be. So in this TEDx application review, we worked on narrowing her idea to make it more clear, meaningful, and transformational. Quick note before we start. I'm not affiliated with TED or TEDx Talks. Everything I share comes from my experience of helping people create idea-based TED-style talks and from my deep research about what makes the most popular TED Talks work so well. With that said, let's get to our TEDx application review. Well, Julija, so good to see you. How are you?
I'm really happy and excited. Thank you.
Me too. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So with pleasure and very happy to meet you. I'm Julija, global business coach from Latvia. But since I have a very international experience working across different countries and markets all around the world, I started to build my career quite actually early as international expert in sales and business development. And currently I am coaching and helping other companies to become successful across the world with strategies and tactics in order to really make this world a better place, because I'm super excited to share all knowledge I got from different industries I came across, starting from aviation till IT, finance, consulting, banking, and in more than 60 countries. And yeah, this was a successful journey for me, and I'm super glad to share that with the world.
That's fantastic. And I saw your TEDx application. It seems like you have a very interesting idea. Why do you want to give a TEDx talk in the first place? Like, what is your aspiration for it? Because once you know why you want to do what you do, it will be more, more focused to write your application, to focus your TEDx idea around what you want to achieve.
Yeah. So first of all, it has been my inspiration and aspiration for many years to be on large stages and talk about the topic that I think is crucial for the world. And I think my message needs to be heard, because the more I see the impact of it in my, let's say, regional or some kind of local communities, I believe it should be on large stages in order to make this impact even bigger. And I think there is a huge potential. That's why TEDx is a great platform, a stage where I definitely would like to be, and I have been dreaming of that for many years. So now it's time to fulfill your aspirations. No time to wait. I just need to act. And that's one reason, and definitely the big message that I want to deliver to the stage and of course, grow my also presence in the market and attract respective client audience attention.
Wonderful. And for many people who want to give a TEDx talk, there's two quite big goals. One is to really create an impact with the message because it's very close to your heart. You work in the field. And the other thing is maybe you can get some more exposure, brand awareness for yourself that will help you to share this message even more. And thank you so much for sharing that. So I'm going to look at your application and we'll just go through the points which you feel there. Is it okay if I will be more direct and just for the sake of our time, I'll be like, we need to work on this, on this, on this.
Super, exactly that's what I'm looking for.
Wonderful. So every TEDx application usually has two parts. One is about TEDx idea, and another big part is like it's usually either an outline or in our case, because the application which we look at you filled for the TEDx Global Idea Search. So there, they had a question about takeaways. I will read the questions and your reply, and we dig a little bit more about into your talk and your idea. We'll talk more
Mhm.
about it.
Yeah.
So the first main question is about TED idea. What is your talk idea? What is the unique idea that you want to share in your TED talk? In a few sentences, please describe the core of your talk idea and why it matters. Then your reply was business and communication expansion or scaling with soul-minded approach in business leadership and strategy. And we'll get to it in a little bit. And the second part is about, when you uh, tell the TEDx organizers a little more about what you want to talk about. And this is what are the main takeaways for the audience. How you want to change minds or inspire action. How? What do you hope people will think or do or feel after hearing you? And your answer was business can be built globally with soft power such as empathy, intercultural, and emotional intelligence. So, behind those two sentences which you share it there, I see that you have something like big idea, but the reason I also pointed in these two questions together is the second part business can be built globally with soft power such as empathy, intercultural, and emotional intelligence is more sound like the idea. And the first one was more like a TED Talk title. So, what
Mm.
is the actual idea that you want to share? Because when I look at it, if I would be a TEDx organizer, I would be confused like, what do you want to talk about? There are so
Mm-hmm.
many words which I know that you probably know about, but I don't have your
Mm-hmm.
background and I don't have your experience. Tell me more,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll try to find a better explanation for it.
Yeah, thank you so much. So the overall topic that or a main idea, yeah, I would shape it probably in one sentence. And for me, it sounds like scaling with the soul and how to transform a global business into a more human driven, let's say, soft power oriented process. So, yeah, it's more about showing that global business is, as far as I see from my point of view, from my experience, and I shape that in the book that I'm writing currently, is that involves kind of transformational process for companies. And the main thing that when they scale globally, they first of all need to adapt and become more mindful. And that's why it means it's driven by soul. Yeah, that's why we need to have these three main components, as I mentioned: emotional intelligence, because we need to be careful about how we care about others in ourselves, in how we establish relationships. and it's very deep understanding of cultures, which is extremely big portion of that. And the third thing is the growth mindset, which is about seeing opportunities outside the existing limitations, barriers, differences. So I would call it as scaling with soul, because it is about understanding yourself and understanding others and bringing value through this trust. And overall, we can call it empathical approach. Probably sounds complicated, but I would love to understand how I can shape it in a form that it sounds easier for the audience and also very meaningful to the people who will listen, not the whole pitch, but just short talk. Yeah.
And this is the huge problem, and for the talk and for the application itself. First of all, the application is very short. Uh, you need to keep, when you apply for a TEDx talk, you need to keep a balance. Some people write like very long explanation, and it's way too much. This one is a little bit too short because it doesn't give me too much context to what the talk is about. So we need to write a little more. And even in TEDx application, they wrote, in a few sentences, please describe the core of your talk idea and why it matters. So they give you supportive questions that will help you to craft this idea. The first one is about the idea, and we'll put it on hold for a little bit, because when we think about the idea, and this is the big misconception, when people think about it, oh, maybe it's the title of my talk. It's like what I see in your application. Or sometimes people think that idea it's something, oh, how to be successful, or like understanding yourself, others, and share it with others too. Uh, it's those are the general worlds. Think about the idea is like, I meet Julia. Hey Julia, I've heard an interesting idea. And I share the idea. If I share the idea, I've heard an interesting idea. It's it sounds like business and communication expansion or scaling with soul-minded approach in business leadership and strategy. And you'll be like, what?
What? Yeah.
Exactly. What? What's going on there? So when you have these two parts, let's talk about the talk itself and the takeaways first, and then we'll try to do like extract this idea, maybe try to form it in the better way. So in the questions in the TEDx application for TEDx Global Idea Search, they had the question, what are the main takeaways for the audience? And supportive questions are, do you want to change minds or inspire action? What do you think?
I think both. Is that is possible, because as we all know, everything starts with mindset. That's why there will be kind of 80% is a mindset shift, which should be connected with action. Otherwise, I would love to inspire in the sense that take a look first at yourself, at your approach, how you do that. Get also my story, which is also very long and interesting and complex. Yeah. So I have several stories to share, and I would love to know which one of them would be really the best one to inspire immediately into some kind of action. Yeah,
And
that's
thank
how
you
I
for bringing
see
it
it.
up. Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for bringing it up. For the TEDx talk, this is another key point. TEDx talks are about the idea. So later we'll talk about the idea.
Yeah.
And all stories that you share, they support your idea. Once you know your idea, you can pick your story that will help to uncover this idea, because we have so many
Yeah.
stories in life, right? We can like keep talking about ourselves for longer. And a lot of times I see people when they prepare the speech, especially for the TEDx talk, they want to talk about themselves because they'll live through and they are kind of the example, but they miss the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And you say that you want to change minds and inspire action. So change means there was something before and there is something after. What is
Mm-hmm.
that before and after a change of mind do you see for your talk, for your audience? Like when you
Yeah.
start speaking, even before you share your story, we need to think about where they are and what
Mm-hmm.
they need to change or what you would want for them to change.
When we talk global business and global scaling is usually connected with some kind of rush and inner, um, let's say, fear and about how to do it quickly, but not really thinking about relationships and value they bring. And so there is lack of patience, one problem, lack of understanding each other, but more focus on their own needs and products. Even that is not the right strategy. They just think about themselves. And the third thing, they simply don't know how to communicate the value correctly and build relationships across cultures. As soon as they come across differences, they simply neglect this market or even make a lot of mistakes or just skip the market and lose opportunities and potential. So that's one thing that I would like to help companies to be, let's say, more open-minded with that, see out of barriers a lot of opportunities and be effective in relationship building for long-term relationships and trust-oriented relationships, which is supported by those components that I mentioned earlier: cultures, emotions, and growth mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is your audience? What people do you want to reach?
My audience are companies. They are also being my clients. Like, this is the size of companies can be very, very different, but the most important criteria is that either they want to grow or scale in the region or several markets, or they already do that effectively, but they need more inspirations for adding in absolutely new areas in the world, maybe absolutely opposite cultures, let's say Asians to meet Americans and Scandinavians to work with United Arab Emirates, for example. So that is the goal, to reach such companies that want to take next step into their global growth, challenge themselves with absolutely new strategies, new approaches, and new market specifics.
That's a lot. You want to squeeze everything into 18 minutes
The
talk.
one, yeah,
It's like a lot of things. Well, the
yeah,
big thing here, you say that your audience is companies. Companies is
yeah.
not the audience. So it can be you want to work with the companies who want to go, like discover new markets. But the
Mm-hmm.
audience are probably either leader of the organizations or management. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. To be precise, exactly. It should be either leadership of the team or business development leads, sales, and communication experts in the companies.
Hmm? So if we
Yeah.
describe the audience, there's the leaders of organizations or leadership or managers or CEOs, like the top chain of the business, and then of the big companies. They need to work in the big companies who want to reach other markets, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay, we got it. At least we
Yeah.
nailed a little bit.
Yeah.
Now we want to change their minds. And you mentioned usually solutions for them. What is the problem? So imagine those leaders, they operate with big businesses and they want to reach new markets, or they even don't think about it, or maybe they kind of think but they don't think there's an opportunity. So what's the problem there?
Yeah. So the main problem I solve is the um, first of all, lack of understanding of the market they're going to enter, lack of in, let's say, readiness to in the company, readiness to enter in new areas, because they simply used to do that in one, let's say, fixed minded approach. They did it one way, and they think they can replicate the same ideas all around. So they are not open-minded in that sense. Yeah, losing potential and opportunities just because of that. They have not effective strategies for sales and communication, and the teams are not well prepared to establish relationships effectively and partnerships effectively in the new market. And if they do that, they do it either with no focus, they just run around and try everything at once. Lack of focus, lack of confidence, and ability to and understanding of the market needs and values. Yeah, and it all results in inefficient performance in the market. They either tried something and then left, or they completely spoiled relationships, or their teams are not motivated well or equipped for scaling in the new market effectively and build relationships on long term.
That's again a lot to uncover.
Again, a lot. Yes.
It's again a lot. So we need to squeeze it even more.
Yeah.
Because the key point, you have this 18 minutes. And for the TEDx Global Idea Search, they say they will have short talks. I don't know for how long. And any TEDx event, they can tell you, oh, we just give you 10 minutes. So you need to uncover your idea in 10 minutes. That's why we need to find more narrow focus that will hit your audience. And we kind of nailed the audience already, right? And then now we try to find where is that change of mind. So for now, you talk about companies and people, their leaders, who kind of run around, they're not sure what to do. And the teams, they don't know what to do. They miss the opportunities. What is the smaller problem that you can help them to solve? Or where is that small mindset shift? Is that they can find new opportunities abroad? Or it's that they just got stuck in their organization and the organization does not grow? Or what else? What comes to your mind?
Yeah, so just to narrow down, I would say that first of all, yes, they either miss opportunities because of the fixed strategies. They are not ready to test something new. They simply have done it many years, and they think it will work them again the same way. And what else? They can also lose focus and lose a lot of money as well, and time, without building very close correct, let's say, effective relationships. And in order to build them, in order to become ready to get these opportunities, they have to learn how to build trust across the world. And this is where things start.
And there's a little part which is missing when I'm listening to you describing all of this. Because you want to give a TEDx talk, it's not just a speech, right? For the speech, you can use more general words, or maybe be more business oriented. For the TEDx talk, especially for the TEDx Global Idea Search, they want to see how it's applicable for many other people. So if we talk about leaders in the organizations, it's not just leaders like in the companies in your country or maybe in Europe because you live in Europe, but also to other countries. So we need kind of
Yeah, all
to
around the world.
solve the bigger problem. So what can be
Mhm.
the bigger problem or the bigger challenge that you want to address in your talk? Because yes,
Yeah,
they miss the opportunities, but this is the business opportunity.
yeah,
It,
yeah,
it's
of
more
course.
like a business talk versus the TEDx talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Then I would focus from business opportunities into trust concept that is so important. And this is why soul is there. Yeah, scaling with soul. Why? Because it's about building trust across the world. And
Where? Between who? Between who and
between
who?
everyone. If we take it globally, then it's building partnerships, building, yeah, if you just don't talk about my target audience, but in general, to build any type of relationships, partnerships, and
No, no,
effective
no. Let's get to your target
long-term
audience. Let's
on the
let's
target
narrow
audience.
it.
Yeah, if target audience, then it's clear, then they need to scale with finding right approach towards communication and relationships building with their potential partners, potential client teams. Also, they want that their message is heard and understood and translated correctly in the market. That's why building relationships on long term and with trust is super important across the markets where they need to deal with a lot of challenges, a lot of differences, a lot of uncertainties, and it's scaling business as far as I see from my clients all around the world and my own experience has always been a process of these overcoming challenges and uncertainties. So I would inspire probably people not to be against these uncertainties, but to see there a lot of opportunities for their growth and their company growth, but also personal growth, because they learn a lot from every single new touch point, let's say, with the foreign markets.
And I hear you saying trust and emphasizing trust a lot. For
Yeah.
now, what you share again, it's a business talk. It's not a TEDx talk at this point.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just to make it, more clear. So when you talk
Mhm.
about business growth, going to other markets, it's a business talk. From there,
Yeah.
we need to, if you talk about trust and you talk about trust between partners and clients, you can even narrow it like, okay, trust between partners or trust
Mhm.
between clients. Why do
Mhm.
companies need this trust?
Mhm.
We're not going global yet. Or maybe why do you need to build trust with your international partners? That also can be an angle. But then we need to make it more not business specific, but to more, like mindset, like idea specific. What's the challenge with the mindset shift there? Because I can tell you, Julia, you need to trust people. You need to trust your partners. And you'll be like, I know. And what's the point? What's the point of the talk then? So, what do you want to explore more? The trust between partners, clients, or anything else from here?
Mhm. Yeah, because why I touch upon trust, because that's, I would say, very deep concept in my understanding. It involves a lot of knowledge about each other, and also it has almost a formula in my mind. It's, let's say, trust is built on credible, reliable, and empathical approach, which means that I need to really, really understand the counterpart in order to build something on that. And trust is like it's a base ground of everything. That's why when I talk to anyone who wants to do anything with anyone abroad, I start, do you know how to build trust there, let's say in Sweden? How to build trust there in US?
Why do
And
you need
it,
it?
It's a very complex approach with understanding values. Yes.
I know. I'm going to interrupt you here because what you do, and the majority of people do the same, they give the solution. Like, you
Yeah.
need to do this. This is not very good. You need to do this and
No.
this and this. Why
Yeah.
do they need it?
Mm-hmm. They need it in order to be successful in any relationships and establish relationships
Narrow
that
down,
grow.
Julie.
Yeah.
Narrow down, narrow down. When you say because they need to be successful, more likely your application
Yeah,
will not be accepted.
of
You
course.
need to be successful. I will help you to be more happy. I will help you to get everything you want in life, because it's something like too vague. And even
Yeah.
for this application, for the TEDx Global Idea Search, they stated they do not want vague ideas. They want
Yeah.
something where is the mindset shift.
Mm-hmm.
So let's think a little more about it. Let's take trust. Is that where you want to go?
Yeah,
Is
let's
okay.
stick to that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's try at least explore this idea. Maybe you will come up with something else after our call. Trust. So you say that the companies and the leaders of the organization, they need to trust who? What
They need to
direction they
learn
would
how
choose?
to build trust with someone to sell their product
Not
or
someone.
be
Someone is too
present.
general.
Yeah, the business owner has to be, let's say, ready, aware how to build that trust so that with partners, with potential clients, with organizations, government, if needed, right? And it all requires readiness, yeah, for that
We don't
and
talk
ability.
about what's required. That's the solution. That's the action step. What they
Yeah,
need to do.
yeah.
Why do they need it?
In order to build presence
Not
in the
they want.
market, no.
Why? Let's put it another way. What's the problem? It
The
sounds like they
problem.
do not have trust. They do not trust people. They do not trust partners. They do not trust clients. Is that the
No, the
problem?
fact that when they enter the new market, it's a new area for them. In the
Mhm.
scaling, it means that they didn't have anything before, and now they have to enter in something with something really new to the market, or themselves are new in the market, and they have to start building that from scratch. Not like they don't trust each other, but they simply don't know each other. That's why they have to start with something.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
in order to something that makes a solid background, solid foundation to build the bigger, let's say, groups, opportunities, whatever they want to achieve, global
Okay. So
contracts,
it
whatever.
don't we don't touch
Yeah.
global contracts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not at this point. So it's not about trust then. It's a lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge how to understand each other and what to do, how to do, and how to build that new trust. Yeah, new.
You trust? Do I need to trust you to do business with you? Probably to a
Yeah.
degree. Is this my main focus? I want to
Yeah.
make money in business.
So, for example, I give you just example
Mm-hmm.
of a company that airline, for example, is like Scandinavian airline that wants to enter in Asia. So nobody knows them. Nobody understands why they need to go that direction to Scandinavia or or sell something similar that already exists in the market. They first need to come into the market with some kind of a new branding, new message, bring a first, let's say, connections where they can exchange ideas and start believing in each other. Why somebody, let's say, should buy products from this Scandinavian airline in Emirates. And that's why, like, I don't know, IKEA wants to enter in Japan. They have to learn how to make their brand trusted in Japan, right? In order to, and they need to transform the Scandinavian thinking into more Japanese, let's say, way of set of values are absolutely different, and not and that's from the branding point of view. From communication point of view, it's even more complicated because there are like absolutely different way of communicating, learning, verbal, non-verbal communication is so different. So I mean that nobody knew you and you are coming into the new markets. I'm also building trust through coming on stage of TEDx with my knowledge, with my credibility, with my reliable message, and with my, let's say, interest to give the value. So I also build kind of that type of trust, a new face on stage, and they will probably hear what they really want to hear and get inspired and get trust from me into doing something forward. So let's say it could be just a first touch point. And
Okay,
that's
I'm going to challenge your mindset at
yeah.
this point. Because sometimes when we are in our, area of expertise, we get too attached to certain words. And maybe for you at this point, trust is the word which you use more often. What you talk
Mm-hmm.
about, it sounds to me more like a brand awareness and you know, building more credibility and maybe
Mm-hmm.
authenticity, either for
Mm-hmm.
you, like for your personal brand, or for the company brand, so people
Yeah.
would trust them. But the
Yeah.
trust is not the key point there. It's like this the relationship. But you touch on two things. One is like when you build, I will say trust, but it's not trust. You present yourself and you create your brand awareness and you let people
Yeah.
know about who you are, your personality, and your
Mm-hmm.
message.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
building this connection, right? And for the
Mm-hmm.
big companies, when they get into new markets, it's not about like trust that we, like, I trust you. It's not that trust.
Yeah.
It's also making people understand what they stand for, their values, what they can give, and building that kind of relationship too with the customers.
Yeah.
How would you say that? For now, it's also business branding. If we go to that direction, we need to unpack it and turn it
Mhm.
into better idea.
Mhm. Yeah, so difficult now because yeah, probably we stick to some concepts that are so vivid to me, but is not that vivid to others.
Mhm. But
Um,
when you will be able to communicate it more simple and more accessible in a more accessible way for people, more people will understand that and share.
mhm.
And that's the goal. It's not even right now for the TEDx talk, but even for your branding, for your
Personal.
message.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So clear branding, trusted branding or scaling across the world, but with um,
Keep talking. Just keep
mindful
talking.
approach, mindful approach to
Not solution, the
no, I don't
problems.
know really,
Mm-hmm.
or scaling with the focus on no on I don't know.
Companies who want to,
I'm
yeah,
building.
I get it. I get it. It's very hard. And it's like it's for everyone. When people
Yeah,
feel the TEDx application, they hope to get on the TEDx stage, and then they surprise why they're not selected.
yeah,
Because it's so difficult to,
to
like
narrow
to
things.
narrow, to get this idea. They talk in general words, but everybody does that. So why they should pick you and why your idea worth spreading on the bigger stage,
Yeah.
and even for your message, you want to make it more than yourself. You want to help people. But for now, these ideas are just in your head. Maybe you know that, oh, this is the problem, there is a problem. We need
Mm-hmm.
to find the words to describe it.
Yeah.
So let's again talk about the organizations then. If we like organizations and leaders, what is the difficulty for either organizations, or you can even narrow down it to leaders, to people who make the decisions? What is the
Mm-hmm.
problem for them to get into the new markets
Yeah, as I
and
said,
build this trust?
usually it's a mindset thing. Yeah,
What
which is
when you say a mindset thing, it's what?
yeah. And the fact that when they come and say, Julia, we need your help because we don't have clients in these countries, we have tried everything, it doesn't work. I started to analysis and I see that the main problem lies in leadership and in communication styles.
Tell me more.
And yeah, so in leadership styles, I see there is no empathical approach towards anything new, no innovative, let's say, thinking. As I said, growth mindset, right? People don't want to see things outside the box. Also, leadership is very restricting new ideas, brave ideas. Making mistakes is a big problem for them. However, scaling is about trying always new, testing new. Making mistakes is normal. Learning from experience is also very, very healthy. And this is what leaders are missing in their mindset. And when they miss that, it also affects the sales strategy, where salespeople and those who are supposed to bring this message to the world, they are feeling not confident about that. They simply don't have right roadmap because they are stick to the previous experience. They are afraid to test new things and they need immediate results. And which is not about scaling. It's absolutely opposite. And the very last and very important thing, they don't know how to deal with different cultures. So they really are losing money, time, investing a lot of budgets in the beginning into kind of, let's say, brand awareness, as you say, but instead they have to build their own readiness into going some differently, yeah, and trying new things and new strategies with different approach than they did before, and learn about the market more and learn about cultures more and
I'm gonna
highlight
stop you
and
there
so and
before
so and
you go
so.
to the same thing
Yeah.
that, yeah, we talked
Yeah.
about before.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
you shared a very interesting idea, and I have suggestions for you to explore this even more. You say
Yeah.
that the leaders in the organization, they do not want to think out about different things outside the box. They don't want to try new ideas. They don't want to make mistakes, and
Yeah.
it's understandable. And this is the problem of so many leaders, especially, like older generation.
Mm-hmm.
They're just stuck.
Yeah. And the bigger
Probably,
is the company, the bigger is the risks. That's why. Mm-hmm.
exactly. So instead of talking about this global soul-minded approach to enter to the new markets, what
Yeah.
if you would target leaders and help them, we can explore a little more this idea, help them to see this is the problem, this old mindset of not trying new things. And now we have AI, which is, it's even faster now than ever. Everything changes, globally,
Yeah.
right? So uh, they if they do not think outside the box, if they do not use new technologies, if they are afraid of making mistakes, they hit the ceiling which they cannot break through.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter if they go to the new market or even if they stay in the current market.
Yeah.
There always will be this ceiling where they will hit because they are not willing to explore what's more.
Mm-hmm.
How does that sound?
Yeah. It is much more narrow, and it's actually very much correlated to what I want to inspire people for is really think outside and grow, let's say, with new ways of doing things and learning about each other. Also, like people are afraid even to go abroad just or come and talk to a new partner just because they feel somehow they are different, and so we will not better spend our time and money with them because we might lose. So they are risk assertive, and uncertainty is a big threat for them. So yeah, I would call it even making mistakes through uncertainties. How to deal with uncertainties, that could be, because there are lots of uncertainties in going abroad and changing something in company before doing that.
Mm-hmm. Those are again general words, but they are much more
Yeah,
narrow than before.
yeah, true.
So making mistakes through uncertainty and going through uncertainty.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
it, like again, this is the general idea for now. I
yeah.
feel like you still will need to take your time and process this idea more. But
Mm-hmm.
for the time we have left, let's think a little more. Like, first of all, let me just reflect to on what you said and reflect to you how
Yeah,
I see it. And you say if that's where we're going or if we change something. So right now we narrow it down to leaders of the organization. It can be leaders or top management or like the decision makers in the
makers.
companies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The problem there is that they do not implement new stuff. They are
Mm-hmm.
against of innovation. They do not think outside the box, right?
Yeah.
Step by step. Mm. This is the problem we are going to solve. So uh, going to other markets, this can be an example of your talk. But the problem is they do not think outside the box. From here, there can be several ways of, several directions for your talk. Either
Mm-hmm.
to go for like, oh, this is the problem, this is the problem, this is the problem, and
Mm-hmm.
there's the solution. This is the problem, this is the solution. This is the problem, this is the solution. This is the problem, this is the solution. So you hit on three problems. Or
Mm-hmm.
you point out this big problem that they don't think outside the box, they don't want to make mistakes, they do not want to, they don't want to do much out of what they do already. So you need
Yeah.
to clarify this. And then
And
you give three kind of options, solutions, let's say, what they do. I'm thinking about three stuff. It's
mm,
the maximum to share three key points. And even in the application, in the TEDx application, they ask you what are the main takeaways for the audience. So three is a good number for the speech, and you can think about three takeaways that people can take. So if you have the problem, then the
mm-hmm.
takeaways can be uh, pointed toward the solution, or
Yeah.
like this one, if there's one problem and you give three steps or three options, this can be an option too. And here, then, we will answer the question, do you want to change minds? Yes. Clearly, leadership is stuck there. You can, uh, I would suggest you to outline the draft of the talk. At this point, uh, you can think about the story that illustrates how people are stuck. It can be your story. I would
Mm-hmm.
suggest not your story, but a story either of your client or a company because you want to work with them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh, and show where the problem is,
Mm-hmm.
how their limitation stops them from growing.
Yeah.
And then you like your solutions are the action steps.
Mm-hmm.
So either problem solution or problem solution solution solution. like three problems,
One
three
problem
solutions,
and
or
three
one problem or three solutions. And you
one
can point the takeaways because they ask you in the TEDx application, do you want to change minds or inspire action? You don't have to say both. You just, I want to help them to change minds, like from this to this, and inspire them to do this because they ask the next question is how. And you point the takeaways. A
Yeah.
couple sentences, one, two sentences for each point. And then the next question, it's still the same about the takeaways, about the description of your talk. What do you hope people will think or do or feel after hearing your talk? What do you think?
My goal was to make them feel that kind of different, how I often hear as a feedback from my clients that when they talk to me, when they listen to my approach to my story, they say, you showed me very, let's say, aggressive strategic problems into a very soft manner, and which shows that everything is, it shows from the different angle, and that different different angle showed them that this is already an opportunity to see and change things. And so they probably look at the same thing, but from the different, let's say, perspective now, thanks to what I gave to them. And knowing that my expertise is very, I would say, like business oriented, very strategic, very not aggressive, but masculine. The thing that I want to bring to people is quite a soft and feminine power. Is like be more careful listening to each other, be more soft in building strategies, not rush, be look into opportunities, think outside box in a way that you also trust things and you trust the process. You don't demand from each other too much. So this is also dealing with uncertainties and dealing with mistakes. It's all, yeah, under that.
So you can even write it down, whatever what I will say to you. What do you hope
Yeah,
people will think or do or feel after hearing you? And you
yeah.
can rephrase it later. I just give you the idea based on what you share with me.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that people will start accept looking at new innovation
Mm-hmm.
and start taking actions more.
Yeah,
They will start looking at new innovation as opportunities, not a threat, and start taking action so that it will help them do what? It will help them. You finish it based on what takeaways, what key points you will write there.
yeah, yeah. But if I stick to innovation, I'm afraid that this will be translated in a way that I don't show who I am. I mean, I wanted to talk about me as a global expert, global sales and business expert. So I'm afraid that they will not get this main global thinking that I want to bring into this. It's innovation globally, then we should somehow specify that, right?
This is you need to think about in the talk itself. So I give you the idea. You don't have to phrase it this way. It's the direction which you can take. You don't have to say innovation. Innovation. It just because we talked about it, I use the word. But
Yeah,
like if you say I want them to think outside the box, it's too general.
yeah.
So this one, how do you hope people will think or do or feel after hearing you? It's the summary of your talk.
Mm-hmm.
And the summary is I hope they will think somehow outside the box and their life will get better. How?
Yeah.
Because now you don't have a talk, it's hard to really phrase it. But this is kind of the foundation of what you can use to finalize your talk and to point in your TEDx application. Now,
Mm-hmm.
about you, to show that you are an expert, I suggest you in your talk, and I also suggest you to think about like when you will write the draft, just write the draft for yourself. It will be
Mm-hmm.
easier for you to fill the application letter. And think about the stories from your clients that you can feel for the problems or the solutions.
Yeah.
That way, you do not sell, but you show the examples how it works. What you shared with me right now, like people told you that you showed me very strategic, we had very aggressive problems, and you showed me the different perspective in a soft way. That's not a solution here. It
Yeah.
does not
Yeah.
tell me much, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you tell me a story that there was a problem and then you helped a client, it's selling without selling
Mm-hmm.
because you tell a story. You cannot sell on stage, you cannot promote
Yeah.
yourself
Yeah.
on stage, but the story will support the point. And this is what I mentioned before. It's not about you and your story, but it's about the TED Talk idea
Yeah.
that you want to share
Yeah.
it. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you shape your story around the idea, you make the point, and the story supports that point. It helps people to understand it better. That's how it gets connected, and you have a chance to talk about your clients and like a little bit like either how you help them or what was the problem or what you see as an expert there. And if
Mm-hmm.
you have 3 points, you have at least 3 stories.
Okay. That's amazing. I'm just a little bit lost now because
Yeah, I know
it's
it's
almost shaped in my head beforehand, and it was like something that is, let's say, formulated or defined in me, but now it needs revision a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot.
it a lot. It's a lot. I know it's a lot. That's why I'm like, can I be direct? Because it's a
Yeah.
lot, especially when you prepare a TEDx talk. And again, this is a direction that we just, like try to uncover today. If you don't feel it's like, if you feel it's not your way, it's not what you want to do, don't take on it. Just rethink what direction you want to take. But at least
Mm-hmm.
now you have the you have more clear picture where the TED talk can, like
Yeah.
lead in order to uncover the idea, not just talk about general things, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And based on that, when you have all those takeaways, your draft, you look at this and then you think about your talk idea. This is the first question of the application. What is your talk idea? This is the unique idea that you want to share in your TED talk. The idea is like, oh, I just heard the idea. And people continue. So, what they will continue with in a few
Mm-hmm.
sentences, because uh, a good TED talk idea is framed in one, maximum 2 sentences. But because people don't know what you're going to talk about yet at this point, here you can write a little more and describe the core of your talk. And this is the important part. They specifically wrote it, why it matters. That's why I ask you, like, what's the problem? Why it matters for them, and
Mm-hmm.
why it's important for you. We got it. You want to share your idea, and you want to be associated with the brand and with this idea. Now,
Mm-hmm.
because you get on a TEDx stage, we need to figure out why this idea matter for people who will listen to the talk. You can point
Yeah.
to leaders of the organization. This is the audience, and there's so many organizations in the world. So it's we still generalize, but it's not just you talk to companies, to everyone. It's a little bit more narrow. So why it's important for them?
Mm-hmm.
Because it helped their companies grow. Okay, what's next? Why it's important for them to help the companies grow? They will make money. If you say they will make money, you probably will not get accepted for a TEDx talk. It's a business pitch already. That's
Yeah.
why you'll need to dig a little deeper. Why it matters that leaders would think outside the box and grow their companies and maybe go to the global markets. How will
Mm-hmm.
this affect more people? Is there even, even bigger idea behind?
Mm-hmm.
Your big idea of the TED Talk is something that unites all the points. That's like, this is why I want people to hear that. It's not
Yeah.
about you getting to the new market and building a business there and making money. This is good, but I want to change the world.
Yeah, exactly. Then the only thing that comes as a more natural to me to talk about not only innovations but talk about differences that people are so this cross-cultural component is so important that I would love to give some inspiration for maybe for leaders who that's why they are afraid to do mistakes because they don't know differences, they know how to deal with those differences. I mean, in the cultures, in the way everything is
Well,
shaped.
yeah, so why it matters then? You can have your idea here, you need to phrase it. Then why it matters is because it can help unite companies in different countries.
Yeah,
And then it will help unite people in different countries, especially nowadays when we have so many worries and people are, getting more into themselves. We want
yeah,
to build this connection between cultures,
yeah,
companies, and people.
yeah.
Mhm.
Do you like that idea more?
I like it better because it's more clear
Yeah,
and it's more meaningful.
yeah,
And it's
exactly.
not like scaling with
Yes,
soul-minded approach.
exactly. Yeah,
Great phrase, but it just like it's I don't
yeah.
understand
So,
this.
how would you call it?
Yeah.
Once again, just to my mind a little bit full now. So, differences as opportunities or something like that. We can shape it like, or
You mean the
leaders.
idea or the
Yeah,
title or
yeah,
what? What are you
yeah.
talking about?
The main idea, yeah, based on understanding and accepting and learning about each other and different cultures.
This is why. This is what you
Mhm.
explain in why. So the question is, in a few sentences, please describe the core of your talk idea and why it matters. You need to describe your core talk idea, and the idea will be something that leaders need to think outside the box. Don't use this phrase, specify a little more. Leaders need to adapt to new technologies or something like this, and this and this. So why it matters? Because then it helps uh, what we were talking about, the differences.
Yeah,
Uh,
differences in cultures, in values,
because
in
it helps unite different cultures and
Mhm.
bring knowledge and cultures and exchange knowledge and cultures between people, especially in the world where there is so much diversity, wars, uh, and and what? Well, something else
Yeah,
and something else
mm,
based on your talk.
yeah,
Again, right now, these are still more general words. Once you have a draft, uh, I gave you the idea and you came up with your own tool already. And then you can specify the stuff a little more. So in your
mm,
TEDx application, it will be more clear. What is it about? Why does it matter? What what are the main takeaways? Those are the questions that people, the TEDx organizers, will look for in your TEDx application. Okay?
yeah. Yeah, it sounds very complex, more than I thought, to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
because I used to be on different stages with different topics, and yeah, and it's always a challenge, but TEDx is even more challenging in that sense.
How does it sound overall? How do you
Yeah, it's
feel?
I feel a bit confused, I would say. Yeah, with my mind was struggling with my own idea and my own perception. That's why it's so useful to talk to someone else and have a chance to share it. Because if you ask me, I think it's like super powerful idea that I have in my mind. It should be like on
Sure.
100%.
Mm.
Yeah, but knowing that we are touching different souls and different minds, we need to be more concrete in how we really help to solve. And this is a big problem of such experts like me, probably because we have so much of expertise to share and to give that sometimes we are just lost into this kind of mm, targeted targeted approach. And that's a very good exercise all in all. I would say this TEDx preparation would help me also shape my proposals better for basically for branding as well. So I believe this could be something transformational for me as well. I hope so.
Absolutely. I believe in that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just like uh, when we use phrases like soul-minded approach, let's say I'll take the phrase which you used
Yeah,
in the application. For me, it can mean one thing. For you, it can mean another thing.
exactly.
How do
Yeah.
you know when that we are on the same page and we talk about the same thing?
Yeah.
And the more clear you become, the better people you will attract into your life, who believe what you believe in, who think about the stuff the same way or similar, or they want to explore more about it. If I think about soul-minded approach in business, I think like, oh, maybe I need to meditate more about my business. That's not what you want to talk about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But at the
So
same time, I imagine that these interesting titles that catch the attention, something unusual. I even thought about what if global business is feminine, something like that. What if succeeding globally is needs mindfulness or something like that, just to catch attention. No,
it's
and
good
then something
for the
like what?
speeches, not for the
Yeah.
TEDx talk. People
All
don't
right.
search for it. If I see this
Mm-hmm.
title, imagine yourself if you see this title, would you click on it and watch?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, something appeared here.
Mhm. Okay. Well, Julia,
Yeah.
there are a lot of things to work on. There were two other questions. One is why you in the TEDx application, and another
Yeah.
one, feel more information about yourself. So why you will come from the draft. Once you have the outline of what you want to talk about, when you know what your big idea is, you need to organize why you based on that idea and provide credibility, the reasons why you're the person to talk about it. And
Yeah.
then the more information, any useful links that will support again why you
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Okay?
Super. I hope it will shape up in my mind, but I need to do it today. Otherwise, tomorrow I'll again come into different
Lots of work to
track.
do.
So
Lots of
let's do
work to
it
do.
today, and I will, based on your recommendations, will try to shape it. Yeah,
Mhm.
but probably it's worth to give it to read to someone else. I'm thinking before I give it to submission, I would love to
Mhm,
give it to
mhm.
someone and even to share it on LinkedIn as a post, for example. What if I do some kind of a little article on that topic and see how people perceive it? Does it sound interesting
Try.
and relevant?
Mhm. You still have time. Try it.
Yeah, because yeah, there are
Yeah.
a lot of ways. Let's say there are still chances to apply to ideas. I did once for Athens. I thought it. Let's try. Growth-minded Julia always thinks, let's try. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's fine to do
Mhm.
mistakes. This is the way
Yeah.
we learn. And yeah, but I'm so grateful to you for being so supportive and interested to share. I would love to share the message how you help such lost coaches as me, because it's definitely a journey, and it's much better to have someone next to you.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Julia. Thank you so much for letting review TEDx application and for sharing all your insights here. It was a privilege to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Martina. We'll stay in touch.